It's your favorite older blended couple back again with another video where we show you places that you can visit here in Texas. Today we are exploring Seguin in Texas, a delightful small town that offers plenty of family-friendly fun. After driving for almost 3 hours early in the morning, we were dying for a good cup of coffee. We headed straight to the Court Street coffee shop. The shop offers a variety of specialty coffee drinks, from frothy cappuccinos to flavored lattes. I had the cinnamon cappuccino and my husband went for hot chocolate. We paired our drinks with delicious Danish pastries and we were in heaven. Our next stop is the Walnut Springs Park. It has a nice rice garden with metal bird sculptures sanctuary. The park is a network of walkways and bridges along the banks of Walnut Branch, a small tributary of the Guadalupe River. It is super clean with benches to sit and enjoy the beautiful trees. We got there super early and there was no one at the park. We had the whole park to ourselves. There's a library across the street if you need to use the bathroom. It was so peaceful as we listened to the cool running water. Beautiful place for a short stroll. We wanted to go further down the trail, but it was closed due to some construction going on. I'm guessing they are extending the walkway. Seguin offers a rich history and it can be uncovered at Seguin Heritage Museum, housed in a charming 1930s grocery store structure.
Our building here was built in 1898. The tin roof, tin ceiling, and the floors are original and with brick that you see there. Some of the modifications have been put in. We do have an upstairs as well, so please visit up there. This building was a red and white grocery store.
Oh, nice.
We have some of their items from the red and white grocery store right here, so the age of it. And the Basingers had it. And when they decided to retire, they allowed a gentleman named John Gessick to be a director.
The museum is a regional museum showcasing everyday artifacts and interesting bygone-era photos. There is a pharmacy cabinet with medications from the 1900s, such as Benadryl and other medications we still use today. We saw some old televisions that I've never seen before. Very, very old, antique. Another cabinet showcases post-Civil War pottery from a shop operated former slaves. The museum offers a glimpse into the lives of Seguin citizens many decades ago. On our way upstairs, women's hats on display caught my eye. They were from the 1800s to 1950s, and they were gorgeous. There is an upstairs floor with more stuff to see. We were surprised how spacious it is upstairs. The first thing we saw when we walked in was an old Singer sewing machine, old typewriters, and different types of old cameras. At the back of the room, there was also a classic couch that caught my eye, including posters of the famous Joe Williams, known as Smokey ball player. Next up is the Central Park. This park is south of the courthouse. I loved the water fountain that is in the center of the park. There is also a large bandstand used for concerts and special events, such as the festival that happened while we were there. The town of Seguin was named after one Seguin, a hero of the Texas independence. A large equestrian statue of one stands in the southeast corner of the park. There's a tree known as the Weeping Oak found in the south side of the Central Park and still retains an iron ring through which the rod was passed to hold the hands and arms of the convicted person close to the trunk of the tree before the whipping commenced. According to the lady at one of the places we visited, the tree was also used by husbands to whip their wives if they cheated on them. We stopped at the 1910 Dietz dollhouse, a micro-Victorian house built by Louise Dietz for little Alice O'Brien, 5 years old, who came to Seguin as an orphan trained child. Unfortunately, it was not open for tours. However, I was able to film the inside from outside through the window. Moving on to stop number 6 is the Nutcracker Museum. As you pull up in the parking lot is the third largest pecan in the world. It is a shop and a nutcracker museum with a collection of more than 8,000 nutcrackers. The museum is free, by the way. Some people might have fun looking at all the nutcrackers. It wasn't that amusing for me, but I think my husband enjoyed it. Oh, by the way, if you love pecans, like my husband, you can shop for locally grown pecans. Moving on to the next stop, the Seguin Brewing Company. Seguin has a thriving and diverse gastronomic scene, part of which locally made beer, wine, and even mead served up by establishments you will only find in the pecan capital of Texas, Seguin. If you are a lover of all things hop related, saunter on over to Seguin Brewing Company's tap room in the historic downtown area. Purveyors of a fine selection of brews ranging from an IPA to an Irish stout, you will find something to like here. I'm not a beer drinker, but when I tried their mead, blackberry mint, I loved it. So I can safely say I can drink beer now. When we visited Seguin, we were very fortunate that that weekend they had a Pecan Festival in Central Park, downtown. This festival is spread out all over Seguin and is a celebration of all things Pecan and all things Seguin. There's absolutely something for everyone, including shopping. Then our next stop was the spooky but fun ghost tour at the Magnolia Hotel. Despite its welcoming exterior, there are rumors that the hotel has a few permanent residents of the ghostly kind. The Magnolia Hotel is a charming historic 19th century structure that recalls a bygone era of Seguin's past.
With the exception of other people,
Yep.
there's always one at a time where everybody takes on investigation.
You say bar room.
We thought one of our guests had walked away.
You want to keep it?
Yeah, so
They moved.
yeah,
they moved by themselves.
Yeah,
I saw that this morning.
Lime Creek. And then later, when the Lanhams bought the hotel and made it into their home, they turned this room into an apartment. And that's when she added the home sweet home over the fireplace. And then now, this is where my husband and I live. We do live on the property. And the man that you see over the fireplace, his name is John Jack Coffee Cave. And he was one of the original Texas Rangers. Well, he fell in love with the owner of the hotel's daughter. Her name was Susan Calvert, and they got married right there in front of the fireplace. After they got
Along with possibly encountering a ghost or two, you will learn all about the hotel's fascinating history that dates all the way back to 1840s and includes Indian raids and, of course, a murder. Moving on to another historic site tour, our next stop is the Sebastopol House State Historic Site. Not sure if I'm pronouncing the Sebastopol right, but I'll put it on the screen. If you like history and architecture, this is a hidden gem. The tour guide was very knowledgeable, and the early use of concrete along with using the roof to store water was very fascinating.
This wood is about 187 years old, somewhere around there. That it was. This furniture here is dated styles called Imperial. That's where all the squirrel things come from. Right? That's Hazel. Hazel is sitting on Grandpa's lap. And he's hogging her. Her parents are here. That's his favorite daughter, Teresa, and her husband. She's more interested in the baby, probably because she hasn't been out of her sight very often. And they're all getting ready to celebrate and go down and eat dinner. He started an independent school district. He was mayor here when apparently it's called a fall front bureau desk. So it's a fall front, you can pull the drawer out, it falls down here because of this button, press this button, it comes down, and then it comes out to a desk. Wow. So this was Nettie's desk, this was the mayor's wife's desk. It's a hoop skirt chair. When ladies wore hoop skirts and they sit down, they sit down and the skirt goes up like this, so if there's room back here to hold the skirt back there, that it keeps the skirt down more. So it's a hoop skirt chair, they go the same way. I learned something.
The house is not that big. However, there is some cool antique furniture to see, including the bed frame that was cut down to create more room for visitors to walk around the room.
Same all around. All different color. The story is that he wanted to stain all the floors, stain was very expensive and had to be imported and everything like that, so we didn't get as much stain as you need underneath the handle, about an inch and a half underneath the handle. Hiram, for black, 2 for white. When he died, he had 163 black students, 32 white students, and he probably, and of course he had to hire the teachers too. And that day, think of the hotel.
Oh, which
Okay,
is very prominent.
these are tickets to do stagecoaches. And then that's the Mayor Zorn's father came from Alsace, and that was his trip with his family. These were, and when the Zorn.
The tour took an hour and it was well worth it if you enjoy historical houses. On to my favorite thing to do, wine tasting. Our next stop is the Blue Lotus Winery. Take your pick of the large selection of meads such as the semi-sweet or one of the several flavored fruit. No matter your taste, you will probably find a beer, wine or mead that will have your taste buds doing the Texas two-step. Settle into the rustic tasting room and order your choice from the impressive collection of wines made using grapes grown at the vineyard in Texas and beyond. For the blackberry and plum flavors of a mellow or a delightful sweet Viognier, find your way to the Blue Lotus Winery. You won't have to go far for another variety of beverage mead, because sharing a location and owners with Blue Lotus is Texas Mead Works. There's a lot to see, I tell you, in Seguin. Now we're moving on to another ghost tour at the haunted Walnut Hotel. Our tour started in the lobby, where the tour guide told us the history of the hotel. Upstairs is a beautiful ballroom with lots of character, where events are held for a fee. According to the owner of the coffee shop, there is spirits in the building, particularly on the 4th floor. There is a lady in spirit who is always following her, and she actually talks to her, she said. She also said that the spirit in question loved elevators. And sure enough, we had a spooky experience ourselves. We got into the elevator, but it wouldn't close. It was as if somebody was holding it. That freaked us out. So we got out and we took the stairs.
Kind of just swirling around you. Just often when we're cooking down in the kitchen, you can feel her energy just running past you. In the Rose Ballroom, I believe you hear many children's spirits, especially when there are events going on.
If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. We will be back again with more videos showing you what to do and what to see here in Texas.